So there's a mistake that I see so many golfers making in the bunkers. If you're struggling with consistency, strike, or even just to get the right distance, then it could well be that you're also making this mistake. But I'm going to give you a really simple drill that you can do to help fix it. And it all comes down to kind of coaching and how it's evolved and where it's come from, and maybe some things that were taught in the past that aren't as good as they could have been. When I grew up, the first few bunker lessons I had were always take a wedge, I've got a 56 degree here, and you're going to crank the face open to give ourselves more loft, expose the bounce. I'm all for that, I think it really helps. And then I was told to open my stance until the club pointed back towards my target, so that would be somewhere in here. Now, because I've opened up my stance, when I swing, I'm clearly swinging left of the flag, sort of over into this area here, which means that the only way that I can really get the ball to go out in the direction of the flag is if I desperately try to keep the club head behind my hands through impact. So that would be me sort of going through impacts and desperately trying to keep the club head back behind my hands. I would call that dragging the handle. Now, when we think about it kind of logically, I'm trying to hit the ball in this direction out towards the flag. It wouldn't make a lot of sense to therefore swing my club or send the energy out to the left. That's not really when I want the ball to go. I want it to go at the flag. And when we're looking at strike, when I take a set of this ball, look at the distance between the club head and the buttons on my shirt. That's a certain distance. As I go back and I try to keep the club head behind my hands, I shorten that distance because there's a big angle in there now. So when I do lead with the hands and try and keep the club head back, I'm really going to struggle with strike. I've got to sort of dip the knees to then enter the sand at any point, and it becomes very difficult to make consistent contact. I think there's a much better way, and the good news for you is I think this is a much simpler way. What I'd love you to do in your bunker shots is align yourself pretty straight. Now, you might want to go a little left, but nothing too dramatic. So as I come back here, that's nowhere near, that's actually right of the flag. So let's try that again. I probably didn't do that from the best place. Let's go more in there. That's pretty much at that flag. I then need to stand pretty square to that and get my feet set in and have the ball nice and forward in my stance. But surely when that club face is open, the ball's going to go out to the right. Well, not necessarily, provided I release the club correctly. When I get to impact, I would like the club shaft to be straight, vertical. That means that the club head is in line with my hands, and I've got the distance the same from my chest as it was as a dress. So here's the drill that's going to help you do that. It is a split grip drill. So I'm going to take my normal grip, lead hand at the top, and I'm going to take my trail hand and take it down onto the metal. So I've got 2 fingers on the metal, 2 fingers on the grip. Now, all I'm going to do here, the club's not going to reach the board. You can see it's, you know, a good few inches behind. And I want to practice through impact having my lead hand and my trail hand almost work as like a scissor action. They've swapped round. Notice how they swap. I've almost got this as a mirror image the other side. What that's doing is it's meaning that I'm actually putting quite a bit of speed in the club head, and it's passing my hands, therefore at impact it should start to line up in this direction. What that's going to do is it's going to mean that wherever that club face points is irrelevant. The ball will come out in the direction that you swing. So let me show you a shot first. So you can see where I'm aimed, you can see how the club face is significantly open, but provided I get the release that I want, the ball will come out in the direction that I swing. It's not going to come out way out to the right, provided I release it correctly. Now, watch what happens if I opened up my stance. For me to get the ball to go towards that flag, I need a very, very, I'm going to really struggle from there. I'm just never going to get consistent results. Much bigger divot. I felt I had to dip down. The ball went sort of straight, but it didn't go anywhere near I wanted it to go. So how would I get more speed in the golf ball? Well, I would need to release it. Well, then it's just going to come out where I aim. It's not going to come out towards the flag. So aiming left, it's really difficult because it's so hard to hit that shot, and then when you do release it, it goes left, and then you just get yourselves into all sorts of trouble. So the split grip drill is brilliant. Now, you can hit shots, and I will hit a shot now. It's very difficult to hit shots. When you hit shots, you're doing that to give yourself a feel as opposed to actually get good results. I'm not going to get the ball back to this flag, it's too far away, but I'm looking to create a setup, take my normal grip, and then go down onto the metal. Now from here, I'm going to have to put a little bit of knee flex in to reach the golf ball, and all I'm looking to do is feel as if my lead hand arrives at the ball and then snaps back behind the ball. So notice the grip of the club in line with the ball. Now it's back behind the ball. And I'm feeling like I'm really accelerating that club head with my trail hand. Now this could go horribly wrong, and I say this is more to create a feel than it is to hit perfect bunker shots, but let's have a go. Okay, you can see it was a terrible result, but it came out pretty straight. I got the release, and more importantly, I'm developing and creating a feel which I can then take into the shot. So there's two things which I think are likely to be causing your bad bunker play. Number one is aiming left. Try and get away from that if you can. A little bit left is fine. Number two, dragging the handle. If you do that, it's always going to give you issues. What I'd love you to do is jump into a practice bunker, take your setup, split your grip, and get used to splashing the ball out using that split grip method. It's massively going to help you, trust me.